So today I kind of wanted to finalise my overview of the last 4 legends. My name's Dratlaw44, so welcome very much back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day today. So basically I wanted to cover the last final 4 legends, which is Wattson, Pathfinder, Gilbratar, and of course the famous Gasman Caustic, of course. I just wanted to give a Season 5 overview. I mean, as I've said before, Season 6 is just around the corner. We've had plenty of teasers and things. So, yeah, it's pretty much just finalising that. But before we go into it, do remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. Right, let's get into the first legend I'm going to cover, which is actually Wattson, because I have plenty to say about her. Okay, so Wattson, let's get into that. So, do I feel like she's in a good place? No. To be honest, I feel like they really kind of butchered her massively for some changes. She's still kind of a viable character, don't get me wrong, but in comparison to how she was, she's pretty damn weak now. I have not ever been a massive fan of Wattson myself, but I do know that there are a lot of players out there that they do like her, especially for competitive, high-level and ranked play and things like that. Where really did it go wrong? So, for me, okay, we'll start with the fences. The fences, they don't really feel like they do much if you are using her. I had a game, like I've said before, where I used Wattson, I fenced up a building, and I had a lifeline running through, getting stunned and damaged. Bearing in mind that it was me and my friend in duos shooting this lifeline, they managed to, despite being stunned, still both kill us both. Now, I don't know how they did that, if I'm honest, and I was really surprised. Maybe they were hacking, but I play PS4, so is it a really easy thing to hack? I have absolutely no idea. But it didn't feel very scary, like she didn't, or the player didn't care. Oh, I'll just run through the fences, it doesn't bother me, and that's kind of what happened. So I do feel like it maybe needs a little tweak there in regards to stun time. I don't think the damage should be necessarily changed. I do feel that the stun time should be a little bit higher, because if you're going to run through a fence, you really should be stunned long enough to kind of, make it a rewarding experience and make it a little bit less scary. The fences should still be able to be broken. I think you should still be able to throw grenades in there without the pylon, but of course the pylon is something I'll be getting into. But anyway, I mean, I do feel like that is not the best, not the worst by any means. The biggest change was the pylon, so they gave a timer of 90 seconds. They do allow now 3, which I suppose was a good thing in one respect, that you can have 3 pylons, but of course you've got a timer on it, so for those kind of legends who like to stay just in the buildings, you're stuck with a constant timer and the constant need of using the ultimate accelerants, which is kind of where her passive is linked. She is still very, very weak outside, and I've always said this about Wattson and Crypto. They're both very weak legends outside of using their abilities. They've got nothing to kind of use that might, threaten the legend or anything that might cause problems unless they are camped up in a building. So you have to have a very defensive kind of play style to play Wattson, because if you're defensively minded and you don't mind camping in buildings, using sniper rifles, taking your time, not really moving much, she's the kind of player that you'll enjoy. But if you're a more aggressive player, or a player that likes to move around, do something, gets bored very easy, that's where she really kind of lacks. And I have suggested that, they should change her passive to something that maybe gives her a little bit of a new dimension outside of any building. I've said this about Crypto as well, so I feel that they both linked, but however, I do feel that is a big thing. The EMP from Crypto actually now destroying the pylons was probably also one of the biggest changes. I know that it's hurt a lot of Wattson mains. Now, did it shake up the meta? Yeah, it did, but of course, I think it may have been a little bit of an overkill. If you got 3 pylons out and it can destroy all 3, that seems a little excessive, I must admit. Even though, as I say, I'm not the Wattson's biggest fan by any means, I feel that was a bit over the top. So perhaps it could be changed so that it destroys 1 or 2 of them, but if you have a 3rd out, it keeps the 3rd. Just a thought. So if you sort of wanted to leave a comment on any of the things I've said about Wattson, she definitely needs some sort of a change. Her usage is very low. She's not in the greatest place right now. And although, as I say, it is a very frustrating legend sometimes to come across, especially if you combine a Caustic and a Wattson in, say, like ranked, it can be very, very annoying. However, there's got to be different metas and different shifts. So she does need a little bit of a love, a little bit of a change to maybe add a new dimension and make her a little bit more interesting to play for players like myself who don't really play her. I'd like to have an incentive to actually give her a try and feel, kind of, oh yeah, actually she's a bit of fun. She's not so bad. So that is my thoughts on Wattson. As I say, comment below if you disagree, you agree, any other ideas of what they could change, all those good things. I would love to hear your thoughts. Right, so the next one, that would be Pathfinder. Now, Pathfinder probably had the biggest change in regards to Season 5. His grapple getting a massive nerf, reduced from 15 seconds and increased up to 35, was the most massive kind of nerf probably Pathfinder mains experienced. I would, I'll be honest and say that, for players like myself, it has been a most refreshing break. And Season 5 has been one of the seasons that I've enjoyed quite a bit, because I haven't had any Pathfinders flying in and killing me and then grappling away when they get into trouble. It was a little bit ridiculous, so I can kind of see what they did and why they did it. However, usage has tanked massively, and he's probably one of the lowest used characters for this season. Of course, I guess a lot of people relied so much on that grapple. Now, the higher skill cap players, the players who obviously are loyal to that legend, they have stuck with him. So he hasn't really, tanked that much. It's just that he's got a lower usage, but he's kind of more balanced in between some of the other legends that are up the top, such as Wraith and some of the others. Do I see some changes being made for him next season? Yes, I really do. I personally, I suppose, grapple-wise, I guess I would see that they're probably going to reduce the cooldown. Now, although, like I said, it's been a nice refreshing break not being killed by Pathfinders over and over and over. No matter, I think with this kind of game, I have to be honest, no matter what happens with this kind of game, you're always going to encounter a legend that is very frustrating to deal with, some more than others because of the way they are. Now, Pathfinder, when you lose Pathfinder, what happens is another legend, such as Caustic, which I'll get into, comes along and drives you absolutely crazy because everyone switches to these different legends. And, you have to kind of look at it and say, well, if you're going to experience that, it's very, very annoying. Now, one of the things is that, like with any legend, I feel that Pathfinder needs a little change to his grapple. I'm not going to say it's a great deal. I personally think that they should reduce it down to probably the cooldown round to about 30 seconds or something like that. I don't think 25 is a good thing, although 25 would be the very, very absolute maximum it should be. I would love them to sort of see it the same. Anyway, I mean, obviously the rest of the abilities, the zip line, the beacon for high competitive play and ranked and things is still really, really strong. So he's an absolute must in most teams. So this is kind of why I'm a little bit anti with the grapple, because that again is for his solo side of things. And considering that they've made changes to legends like Lifeline, with the passive being fast healing, it seems to be that they're focusing these legends to more sort of team orientated play, and then maybe they're sort of keeping other legends like Octane and Mirage as kind of those legends that are more solo and work for themselves. I don't know if that's necessarily the way that they're on purpose going for, but that just seems to be the way it's looking at the moment. So let me know your thoughts below on that one. Do you agree? But yeah, I mean, otherwise Pathfinder, I mean, as I say, he's not going to be ever my favourite legend. I'm always going to be honest with what I think, whether you like it or not. At least I give my honest opinions. He's not my favourite legend. He's not my least favourite by any means. The actor that plays him, Chris Edgley, is a really cool guy actually, and if you haven't already, check out his YouTube channel, because he actually does post quite regular videos, podcasts, all those sort of things, and they are actually pretty entertaining and funny. He's no expert at Apex Legends, but that does make it even more amusing, so it's well worth checking out him. But yeah, I mean, do you agree with where Pathfinder is placed for Season 5? Do you feel he's in a good place, in a bad place, in an okay place? Does he need a buff, a nerf, left as he is? All those things. Do let me know in the comments below. Okay, so next, of course, is Gilbratar. Gibraltar's a bit of an easier one to kind of cover. I don't feel that there's a lot of detail with him. He hasn't changed that much in regards to it. I think the biggest things that they made change to was his passive shield being reduced in HP from 75 points down to 50. Personally, I feel still that is too much, and it should be at least 25, and that they should reduce the damage he takes, the damage reduction, the fortify, down to, I would say, about 7.5%. Simply because, it's like absolute nightmare. If you try and shoot him with a gun like a Spitfire, the damage you're doing is ridiculous. In fact, a lot of guns as well. It is absolutely just, especially with the dome shield, or he's got the passive shield that he has, all those things, it's very, very frustrating to kind of deal with. I definitely think that he needs some changes in that respect. I know he's not the highest used legend because of his bigger hitbox, and that is possibly what people are kind of getting at. And I know that he needs a fortify. I get why they did it, because of the bigger hitbox. However, he's such a tanky character. He's, it's one of those things where it needs to just be finely tuned, I feel, to make him a viable character, a really good character, because he's so strong and competitive and ranked. If used correctly, he's really good, and he's quite a user-friendly character or legend to use anyway. So, someone like a newer player can pick him up and really feel like they're doing a lot of things for the team. Naturally, he has his dome shield, which is still really, really solid. They reduced the fast healing from Season 4, which was 25%, to 15% in Season 5. That was partway through when they actually reworked Lifeline as well, so a little change there. And his bombardment is really, really solid as well. So I feel like, although he's not the highest used legend by any means, I do still feel that when you come across him, he's so solid in a high-level, competitive and casual play as well. So there are a couple of tweaks I'd like to say. I mean, the main one is 7.5% fortify instead of 15 would be amazing, and his passive shield reduced from 50 health points down to 25. I know that people are going to say, well, that would reduce his usage. Yeah, but he's so solid, and it shouldn't be based on just usage alone for a character, because otherwise all the lowest usage characters are just going to be made too overpowered, and it's going to get a little bit ridiculous. Right, well, let's get into the last and final one, which of course is going to be Caustic. Right, well, Caustic, let's have a kind of review on that. Where's he at? He is kind of super strong right now, really ridiculous. In high level and competitive play, he's a must almost now, but I'm seeing him a lot in casual play as well. He is coming up a lot either way, and I have to say that there's a couple of things that really is ridiculous. I mean, his fortify, I still also think that should be reduced from 15% down to 7.5%. I think that would be a good balance. So he still does damage, or has reduced damage, shall I say, but it's not over the top, which would be really good. I feel like his gas, the one quality of life change they need to make is most definitely a sort of thing where they make it so that the colour of the gas for teammates is a different colour to other caustics, just to save it. And the same with traps as well, because let's face it, you run into a gas trap, you think it's your friends or your teammates, and then you find out it's an enemy's and you get gassed. It's a nightmare. Obviously Caustic isn't affected by that, which is fine, but you are, so it's a bit of a nightmare. I do feel like the gas traps, the way that he is as a legend in that respect, he's definitely very, very solid right now, and very frustrated. The Caustic's gas really stuns you so badly, and it does a great deal of damage. So it does a lot of damage, and it stuns you massively. It's insane, and I feel that is just too much in regards to all those things. I feel like, for me, I think that either the damage that the gas does should be less, or the stun time should be less, because the gas lasts for too long. And in fact, I mean, something actually that I have seen as well is the duration of his gas. So when you activate a gas trap, I believe it lasts for somewhere in the region of about 7 or 8 seconds. I can't remember exactly, and his ultimate lasts for... No, in fact, it lasts for longer. It lasts for a very, very long time. I'll have to check that out at some point again and see how long it lasts. But it is a very long time that the gas traps, they last. So, to be honest, I think things like that need changing. Now, I don't want a complete nerf so he's completely useless, because, again, that is not ever the way of things I want to see in Apex Legends. Legends, but you know, I do want to see a meta shift. I do want to see some changes. I want to see not only a new legend and new weapons and new hop-ups and new things to keep the game fresh and interesting, maybe even a new map, but I also want to see, you know, the difference in how we play Apex and keeping it fresh and interesting. And that is pretty much in that Caustic, you know, yes, he's a threatening legend like he should be in buildings, but you know, with a couple of moderations, because, you know, I've heard of things like where, you know, he throws his ultimate and the blanket lasts for nearly 20 seconds and you just can't see anything, and in a small ring it absolutely does the most ridiculous amount of damage as well that you can get. So, you know, there are things like that that need a lot of changes. He needs to definitely have some, I think he needs to have some adjustments. You know, if you kind of like, you know, balanced things like how long the gas lasts, how much damage it does, or the stand duration, maybe they could give him something else, or a rework like they did with Wraith, you know, a slight change in that regard. Maybe that is an idea. So yeah, so I mean, like, I think that is the main sort of part with regards to these legends. I mean, how do you feel with this? You know, do you kind of agree that, you know, Caustic is too strong right now? Does he need some changes? And if he does, what would you suggest to be changed? You know, what could you, maybe could we balance out? What could Respawn take on board? Do you think that any of the other legends like Pathfinder, Wattson, even Gilbratar, is there anything that you would suggest in regards to changes with them? Could they be reworked slightly to maybe make them really good but not overpowered? You know, is there anything else that you would like want to add to comments below? So yeah, so that is pretty much it for regards to this particular video. I hope you enjoyed and found it somewhat informative and fun. If you did like the video, you found it enjoyable in any way, a like on the video really helps me out. And if you did want to subscribe, if you're new, for future content from me, then that would be absolutely amazing. I'm on 52 subscribers and trying to grow all the time. But always, from me, never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. That is everything from me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.